And good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. Today is Monday, July 3rd, and we are live streaming on our WLBB Facebook page, our News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page, as we have a conversation with this morning's guest, Terry Lowry, conductor, music director, co-founder of the online community musical Overture. Today we are going to chat about the not just tomorrow's big event, the Sounds of Liberty concert, Tuesday, July 4th, 8:15 at the Carrollton City School grounds, but I also got to check in with them and see how this past weekend has gone with the Carrollton Jazz Orchestra's performance Saturday, as well as the Wind Ensemble on Sunday. We're going to talk all about that and a lot more. If you have any questions or comments for our guests, feel free to throw them in on the live stream, and I'll be happy to ask those to them. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning.
Sir, thank you for coming on the program.
Thanks for having me.
Well, let's talk about, well, first, why don't we, if you would, for folks who may not have tuned in before, would you be willing to share a bit of your CV for them, a bit of your history, and then I'd love to chat some about this weekend's performances.
So the Carroll Symphony Orchestra, right? We've been around for 20 years. Our first concert was in 2002. Since then, we have been responsible for presenting nearly 400 concerts in Carroll County. The Carroll Symphony Orchestra, the big concert we have coming up is our Sounds of Liberty on the 4th of July. 10,000 people come to that event. So a lot of people know us from that. If you come to the fireworks on the Carrollton City Schools campus, and you see the big stage and all the speakers and the banners and all that, well, that's us. And we're doing a program of patriotic music by American composers, and it's fantastic. We cue the fireworks. The Carrollton Area Convention and Visitors Bureau puts on the greatest fireworks display. I mean, oh my gosh, it's so great. And we cue them because it has to go off right with the music, and it's all synchronized and coordinated, the old-fashioned way. When I've got it marked in my score when this goes off and when this goes off and this goes off, so we have to time all that just right. So anyway, the Carroll Symphony, we also present other concerts throughout the year. The Carroll Symphony Orchestra Foundation, the kind of parent organization of the Carroll Symphony, sponsors a few other ensembles also. The Carrollton Jazz Orchestra, which is a professional big band, which is just quickly growing into one of the best big bands in the Southeast. I mean, it's just really wonderful. We have some of the greatest jazz players in the Southeast that come to play in this group. We do about a dozen concerts a year. We do 6 in Carrollton and about 6 around the state. We'll be playing up in Canton later this month. So on this past Saturday, we presented at the AMP a concert of American jazz, and you may remember it was pretty stormy that night. I mean, we all thought it was going to. Well, we thought it was going to be stormy. It was windy. It sprinkled a little. There was some fear, but still, man, we had a great crowd, and they were rocking. It was a really electric atmosphere, and the musicians feed off of that. The crowd was really into it, and we got into it, and it was just one of those nights that you remember for a very, very long time. So the Carrollton Jazz Orchestra is really an exciting part of what we do. The Carrollton Wind Ensemble is an outreach program that we sponsor that helps people make music. So anyone who played an instrument in band in high school or college is welcome to join. No audition, just come play. And this group rehearses every week for 2 hours all year long. They only take one little break at the end of July. They do 30 to 35 concerts a year. They play at concerts at the Center for the Arts. They do concerts at the AMP. They do performances for everything that happens at Veterans Park. They play in nursing homes. They play in schools. They play in the hospital. They play at business openings. They play pop-up concerts all over the community at Christmas time. Anyway, this group.
It's a lot of concerts.
It's a lot of concerts, but this group of people, there's about 65 people in this group, and they are dedicated, man. And word's gotten out. They've been invited to tour Italy. They're going to do 4 concerts in Italy in June. They're going to play in Venice, in Florence. They're going to play 2 concerts in Rome. All 4 of those concerts are going to raise money for a war refugee organization that helps with displaced people, both children and adults who have been displaced by the horrors of war. We're going to send over, before the tour, a team of retired music educators who are going to go to a music camp with children at that campus. And then we've got a day set aside on our tour where we'll be giving lessons, and everyone in the group will be participating to help share music and with those children that have been displaced by war from Ukraine or wherever it may be. So it's a great group that plays great music. Last night the amp was full, and we played an hour and a half program of, again, patriotic music by American composers, and a special treat, and what really capped it off is the Carroll County Community Chorus joined us for the last 3 numbers. And man, did they sound great. We didn't have a chance to really rehearse that. I mean, the choir rehearsed separately, but we hadn't had a chance to do it all together. And the amp, it's not a big stage, and I got 65 people crammed, almost sitting in each other's laps on that stage. In fact, the whole percussion section was off on the side. Below
just to make room.
That's the only way to fit on stage. So there's this little concrete, I call it the moat, around the castle in the front of the stage at the amp. And so the choir came up and just filled that area. And when they started singing, man, it blew me away. The players behind them were commenting on how beautiful the choir sounded. So we're just so thrilled with that. So anybody out there listening, if you ever played an instrument in high school or college, come join the Carrollton Wind Ensemble. And you might even get to go to Italy with us. And if you sing, come join the Carroll County Community Chorus. That group, we'll start back up with that. Which I'm the director of that now. We'll start that up again in the middle of August. And we've got wonderful things planned for that group. So we hope you'll come and join those things. And so in addition to all that, there's the Carroll Symphony Youth Orchestra. There's a new swing band that we've started. There's a chamber ensemble called Atlanta by 6. We have violin clubs for little kids. Since we don't have strings in the school system, we do violin programs for elementary kids from all over the county on Tuesday afternoons. And then we have the Carroll Symphony Orchestra Academy. So we teach music lessons with every band and orchestra instrument. And we've just recently entered into a partnership with the Carroll County Child Advocacy Center. So we'll be helping out with children that have been affected by abuse and offering them music as a way of making sense of the world. When the beautiful thing about music is that it helps us when our words fail, when we run out of words. Music helps us to make sense of the world.
It's like a Rosetta Stone of things that you can't put into words.
That's it. So if we can take a child that's been hurt and help them with music to kind of make sense of their emotions while they're learning a vocabulary with which they can speak about their experience so that they can then process it. So we're kind of a bridge during that time period. And man, Amanda Carden over at the Carroll County Child Advocacy Center, what a job they do.
She's incredible.
Oh my gosh, she is just amazing. And what they do, and what they do with so little. You talk about if you're looking for a place to help out philanthropically. I mean,
no question,
right there. So
they take so little and just expand it.
So we want to do everything we can to help them and to serve them. So that's a new outreach that the Carroll Symphony Orchestra is involved in. So anyway, that's a brief synopsis of kind of what we do in our community. We try to help people make music.
Well, that leads me to the next question here. So, you have a very diverse, very complex, very rich assortment of these musical groups connected and interconnected and playing together. And why do you think it's so important to maintain this guys, come make music with us, this open arm approach? Because I'm telling you, having lived in other towns where you have orchestras of different varying sizes, I've never been in an area where it was so welcoming. Like, why is that something that's so important to you as a conductor and music director, to keep those doors open for folks who want to make music?
Well, I believe that we ought to help people make music. I mean, music was anthropologists believed that music existed before language, that music was some sort of a proto-language that we had before we learned how to speak to each other using words. So music is a deep part of us. It's why it's present in every civilization across the planet. Music is just part of being human. Making music is part of the human experience. And so the more people we can help make music, the better. And so, but I love that you kind of, the way you put it. So we have all these different groups. The way that I think of it, and this, it's interesting. When I was asked to start the Carroll Symphony Orchestra 20-something years ago, I knew that we couldn't just come in and say, okay, we're going to make a small New York Philharmonic and just put it in the middle of Carrollton, and it's somehow going to work, and people are going to write checks for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it's just going to, we're going to have a concert hall, and everybody's just going to show up with their tuxedos and dresses and pearls and listen to Beethoven. I knew that was that, yeah, with the white gloves and all that. So that's not going to happen, right? So I spent a lot of time meeting with leaders of our community. And I remember going out with Stanley Parkman and going out with Marty Smith and taking these people to lunch and I just moved here, man. I'm 26 years old. I just pulled into Carrollton. Stanley Parkman hopped in my Porsche 914. He said, I'll go to lunch with you, Terry, but I want to ride in your sports car. I said, all right, great. So he hops in the 914. We're spinning around town. And I'm like, Stanley, tell me about Carrollton. And Stanley had this incredible speech. And those of you who knew him remember this speech because he gave it all the time. With this list of things that made Carrollton great, everything from the education to the churches to the civic life. And, one of the interesting things about Carrollton is that in some ways, if you think about it, Carrollton is kind of a one industry town. It's Washington, D.C. is a one industry town. It's government. Hollywood, L.A. is a one industry town. Well, the industry here is raising a family. You don't come to Carrollton. Most people don't come to Carrollton to be rich and famous. You come to Carrollton because this is where you want to raise your family. And it is a great place to do that. And you look around, so much of what happens in Carrollton is focused on children. And then you've got their parents who are running around like crazy, trying to get the kids everywhere they need to go, trying to make their budgets work and make the timing work while they're working. And then you have the grandparents who come and watch. And let's be honest, they fund a lot of what happens, for their children. So there's that three-generation
an ecosystem of support that just keeps replenishing itself.
And it's beautiful. And so we learned from the very, very beginning, we knew that, okay, the only way to have something like a symphony orchestra that could be relevant in our community was to put a focus on children. So the very first part of our mission statement is to enrich the lives of children through music. We start with that. So everything that we do kind of has to hit that first part. Even, when we start, the Carrollton Jazz Orchestra has an education component. The Carrollton Wind Ensemble has an education component, and we also let high school kids come in. Like I said, if you played in high school, that includes ninth grade, you can come in and play. So, all right. So when we started, I kind of thought of this as like, there's this pool of musicians, right? And I want as many musicians in this pool as possible. Now, when it's time to play Beethoven and Sibelius, I'm going to pull out the musicians that are best suited to play Beethoven and Sibelius. And there's your Carroll Symphony Orchestra. When it's time to play Count Basie and Thad Jones, I'm going to pull out the musicians that are best suited to play that big band. There's your Carrollton Jazz Orchestra. When it's time to play a program of John Philip Sousa marches at the AMP, or to do the great wind band literature that so many people loved and played when they were in high school, well, that's the Carrollton Wind Ensemble. When
Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy from Company.
Yeah, that's right. So all these, so we got a swing band, right? So we got the Glenn Miller and the Benny Goodman stuff. So we've got this pool of musicians that is the Carroll Symphony Orchestra Foundation. And while they're all distinct, separate groups in their own way, the Carrollton Jazz Orchestra is an all-pro big band that I'll put up against anybody. Carroll Symphony Orchestra is an all-pro orchestra that's the second best orchestra in Georgia. I'll stand behind those things. But they're all kind of part of this pool of musicians. And about 10 years into it, I realized, somebody else thought of this before I did. It was Pierre Boulez, the great conductor and composer from France, who thought of, the structure of the symphony orchestra from the late 19th century up till the 1950s, 60s was dying away. It had become kind of a museum thing. And he kind of envisioned this model, this new idea for what an orchestra could be. But nobody really acted on it in Europe until a guy named Ivan Fischer came along. Now, you didn't ask me for this, but there's a cool ending at the end. So Ivan Fischer, Hungarian conductor, started an orchestra called the Budapest Festival Orchestra 40 years ago. Kind of like the Carroll Symphony, just had a big pool of musicians, pulling out different musicians for different things, 3 concerts a year. Has built that thing up to where now it is one of the major symphony orchestras in Europe. That's his permanent orchestra. He's also the principal guest conductor of the Berlin Philharmonic and the Royal Concertgebouw Orchestra in Amsterdam. So there you go, the 3 best orchestras in Europe, and he's either the conductor or the principal guest conductor for all 3 of them. Last year, Gramophone magazine voted them the greatest orchestra in all the world. Well, a little over a month ago, I get an email from Yvonne Fisher complimenting what he has read and learned about the Carroll Symphony Orchestra, encouraging me to keep going, that we may be the ones to create the next great orchestra in the United States. Now, I know that's big and that's dreaming and that's ambitious.
But why not dream? Why not shoot for the stars?
It would require a lot of funding. But to know that someone of his caliber has taken note of what we've done and has complimented the way that we've done it, the way that we've structured it as an organization, with the openness, with the idea being that we're going to allow people to make music. Put it this way, the reason we're able to get such great musicians to come play in the Carrollton Jazz Orchestra is we play music that great musicians want to play. We pick music that these great jazz players want to play that they can't play anywhere else. So they come to Carrollton to play it. Same thing with the symphony. And then we have such a great time. They play it so well that the audiences respond. The audiences, they go nuts over it. So to have Yvonne Fisher, kind of validate that was a wonderful thing. And then who knows? They're 40 years old. We're 20 years old. So 20 years from now, who knows?
The time is at 8:46. We're going to go and take our first commercial break. But when we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Terry Lowry, conductor and music director, as we chat more about the Sounds of Liberty concert tomorrow, 8:15, at the Carrollton City School grounds. Stay with us.
Oak Mountain Academy is an innovative school of academic excellence celebrating over 61 years. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to join us on the mountain to see our mission and vision in action. Academic excellence, a faith-based environment, and dynamic opportunities are just a few of the reasons our families choose Oak Mountain Academy. Academic scholarships and tuition assistance are available. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
And we're back to Community Voice. Time is 8:48. Our guest this morning, a conductor, music director, co-founder of the online community musical Overture. Of course, the conductor of the Carroll Symphony Orchestra, Wind Ensemble, Jazz Orchestra, Swing Band. We could keep going. In fact, if you want to know all about that, be sure to check out the podcast of this episode, as well as the live stream currently going on at our WLBB Facebook page, so that you can hear all about the incredible things that our local orchestras, that our local bands are putting together. Really some amazing stuff. We got our first comment on the show today. George Bryan says, T-Dog, exclamation point. Shout out to our guest, Terry Lowry.
Man, George Bryan. George was my best friend in high school. George, man, what a trumpet player.
Yeah?
Man, he plays in an Army band now. And we were both trumpet players in high school together, and pushed each other to get better and better and better.
High marks for George out here.
Oh, man, I owe George a lot. George, man, what a great guy.
Well, I like to tell folks, around this time, if you drive through the Carrollton City School grounds, you'll see a big stage with banners, flags. It looks like it's awaiting Eisenhower's train. You know what I mean? Like the train's about to stop, Eisenhower's about to get off. That's what you are in store for at the Sounds of Liberty concert. Every year, it's one of the hallmark events of the year. Terry, take it away. What can folks look forward to this year?
Well, it's going to be you, me, and 10,000 of your very best friends. So we've been doing this 19 years now. We do a program of all American composers, patriotic music that you know, that you love. I mean, it's a birthday party. It's a incredible birthday party. We'll do the national anthem. We'll raise the colors. We'll do America the Beautiful. We'll do all the Susan marches that you expect: Stars and Stripes Forever, Washington Post, Thunderer, 76 trombones, Meredith Wilson. We'll do National Emblem March, the Battle Hymn of the Republic, a salute to the armed forces. Larry Frazier will join us. We'll recognize veterans from all 5 branches. We'll do a tribute to the KIAs from Carroll County. We'll do a piece by one of my favorite American composers, maybe my favorite American composer. I'll go out and say that, Peter Menon. Peter Menon. You got to check out Peter Menon. His 100th birthday is coming up next year.
Yeah, the folk overture. That's
folk
what
overture. Peter Menon. Yeah, we played it 2 or 3 years ago in a Masterworks concert at the Carroll County. It's
been requested. It's been
and so many
requested
people
to play,
loved it. They asked us to play it again. So we're going to play that piece. We're going to play one piece by a young composer, a 17-year-old composer from Rome. So much fun. And talk about hard. But anyway, it's a great tune. So anyway, it's going to be a great night. I mean, people come early. They get there early in the afternoon. They bring their Frisbees, their baseball gloves, their picnics. And it's just like I said, it's a great big party, And then we start at 8:15, and right at 9:35 on the dot, right in the middle of the battle hymn, I give the cue to my man, Steve Graddick, who's waiting in the wings with the cell phone, and I point. He looks down, Foxfire, Foxfire, Foxfire. And then the firework goes up. And the cool thing, there's a spot right in the music where that first firework has to hit. So I watched that little comet go up. I'm looking over my shoulder, and I'm watching, holding the music. And then it disappears, and then it explodes.
Yep.
It's all got to be just right, And then, it continues. We play marches all through the fireworks. And so it's just, man, what a great party that is. And that was started by Graddick Communications. The Sounds of Liberty has been going on way before the Carroll Symphony. It was happening before we even existed.
Mr. Graddick loves him some orchestral film
music. He loves him some America, man.
Yeah, he does.
He is one patriotic guy. And so for us to then kind of become involved and kind of take over the Sounds of Liberty was a lot of fun. We started in the stadium, in the old Gresham Stadium, on the football field. The first year, the homestands were full. The second year, I don't know, maybe 3/4 full. The second year, the homestands were full. The third year, the visitor stands were full. So we had to move. So we moved over to the front lawn in front of Carrollton Elementary School with it's kind of a natural amphitheater. And it's just a great time. So you got to come. You got to, here's what it's like. You want to come, you want to set up your lawn chairs, picnic blankets right there in front of the stage so you can hear the concert, and it's the best place from which to see the fireworks. To do anything else, to watch it from Target, to watch it from Tabernacle, watch it from anywhere else, it's like driving up to a birthday party, pulling up right in front of the house, and then staying in the car.
You might smell the cake from the backyard. You might hear a little music playing, but you're not going to get to experience
you're not at the party yet. You're not really at the party.
No, make the scene, man.
So come on down. Come on down to where we are and enjoy the concert and enjoy the fireworks. The concert will be broadcast on KISS 102.7, thanks to Graddick Communications, and it'll be streamed. Thanks to our man Joel in the booth there.
Shout out to Joel.
So, if you're out of town or just unable to come for whatever reason, we still want you to enjoy the music. So it's going to be a great night. It's free. It's kind of our gift to the community. We have a whole list of sponsors that we acknowledge in many, many different ways. In print media, social media, radio ads. We'll acknowledge them at the concert. We have a banner. We acknowledge them over the PA system, and they make this happen. City of Carrollton, Carroll County, we've got such wonderful support from our community. In almost 21 years of existence, the Carroll Symphony has finished in the black every year, even through recession and pandemic. Our community has rallied behind us to keep us going, and this will cap off what has been a weekend-long music festival that started on Saturday night with the Carrollton Jazz Orchestra, and then last night with the Carrollton Wind Ensemble and the Carroll County Community Chorus, and then the Carroll Symphony Orchestra will cap it off with the fireworks on Tuesday night. It's just become a patriotic music fest of American composers, and man, what a town to be in. You know what I mean?
Perfect place for it. I'll tell you what, as we took our first break a little late, we're going to take our second break now. But when we come back, we'll wrap up our conversation with conductor and music director Terry Lowry as we chat all about tomorrow's excellent concert. Happens once a year. You can't miss it. The Sounds of Liberty concert tomorrow, July 4th, 8:15 p.m. at the Carrollton City School grounds. Stay with us.
The AP Scholar Journey at Oak Mountain Academy is designed to provide students with a clearly defined advanced placement curriculum track to earn a series of distinctions upon graduation. This journey enables academically prepared students to pursue college-level studies throughout 17 AP courses in 5 subject categories while enrolled at OMA. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
And we're back to Community Voice. Time is 8:56. I'm your host, Josh Shingle. We are live streaming on our WLBB Facebook page, so feel free to throw in any comments or last-minute questions for our guest, Terry Lowry, conductor of the Carroll Symphony Orchestra, Carrollton Jazz Orchestra, Carrollton Wind Ensemble. I could keep going, but if you want to hear all that, go check out the first part of the program, where we chat a bit about the landscape of live music right here in the West Georgia area. So, Terry, I hear that you have a gala coming up pretty soon.
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, the Carrollton Wind Ensemble will be going to Italy next year to present music and do some really great work. And we're really excited about that. It's, as you can imagine, that's an expensive undertaking. It's about $300,000 to pull that off. And so, the players are all paying their way. I mean, they're all paying money, of course. But there are lots of expenses we have to raise money for. So we're having a gala on August the 26th, Saturday night at the train depot in Carrollton, and we're calling it La Dolce Vita. You got to use your hands when you speak of the Italian. The sweet life, kind of the 1950s Italian cool.
Yeah,
that's the atmosphere.
I think there was a French New Wave film called that.
Yeah, that's the vibe that you'll get if you come to this gala. So you want to buy a ticket, come to the gala, enjoy a great meal. We're going to have 2 different live bands. We're going to have dancing and an auction, and out front you'll pull up. There'll be a couple of Ferraris, a Lamborghini out front, spotlights going. You really feel like you're in Rome, and you expect.
Gonna get that Porsche 914 back out here.
There you go. You're going to expect Audrey Hepburn and Gregory Peck to come riding by on a
little Vespa.
A Vespa, that's right, at a Vespa. So it's going to be a great night. We encourage people to come. If you'd like to sponsor a table, we have table sponsorships available also. So just kind of keep an eye out on our Facebook pages for information about that as it comes out. But the big thing, also is the Sounds of Liberty. Tomorrow night, it's go time. So tomorrow night, 8:15, please bring the entire family. So my 9-month-old son is going to be there enjoying the fireworks. We'll have little headphones for him.
Yeah.
My whole family kind of makes a family reunion out of it. So I hope everyone else does that too, young and old. We'll have reserved parking right behind the stage for veterans. So, and we have chairs for them. So
I love that. That first section is right. Just veterans.
So if it's, I don't want you to think, well, we really don't get around that well anymore, and we don't know where we're going to sit. So we'll take care of you. We want you there. We want people of all ages to come and enjoy the concert. The police department does a great job with traffic. Traffic is not a problem. I always joke and say, the police, they practice for this Sounds of Liberty event every Friday night during the fall. So they know what they're doing.
You're looking at practicing.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. So the traffic is not an issue. So we do hope to have a great crowd again this year for the Sounds of Liberty, patriotic music by American composers and great fireworks. It is the birthday party, and you're all invited.
Excellent. It's the event of the year. Terry, thank you for all that you do, and for all the players with the assorted groups. Thank you for volunteering your time and effort to try to make something special, to make something beautiful, make music here in West Georgia. Again, that's the Sound of Liberty concert tomorrow, Tuesday, July 4th, 8:15 p.m. at Carrollton City Schools. Thank you, Terry.
Thanks, Josh.
And thank you for all for tuning in. We'll see you next time.